Jack Hart in the house, dude.
How we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Can't complain.
Okay, so you are the 2026 40 under 40 honoree because you run a sports media conglomerate, right?
It's true. It's very true.
You're a soccer player, and I hear you're a huge Ronaldo fan.
I can't stand Ronaldo.
You can't stand Ronaldo?
Can't stand Ronaldo.
Dude, I grew up seeing Ronaldo, but Messi. You watch highlights of Messi, and it's just unreal.
After yesterday, what I watched yesterday with Argentina, I'm sitting in the gym, and he goes, and they're down 2-0, goes and scores, does it again. I'm like, it's set. It's set. It's Messi's the GOAT. It's been set, but it's set again.
Okay. You played soccer at Illinois?
I did. So I went to Illinois College.
Yeah.
Played soccer there 2 years, and then went to ISU. I played club soccer there for 2 years.
Nice, man. Okay. Man of many talents. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So you founded Hart Media a year ago.
Yep.
Can you just let people know the big umbrella of what Hart Media is?
Yeah, so Hart Media really in a, let's say, nutshell is Hart Media has 2 radio stations in Taylorville and Clinton, and it's ran for it's kind of our staple company is Hart Media Group. And we bought the station as our family bought Clinton, they bought Taylorville. And then I, on the other of the sports end, started up out of SportsWire last, I believe, August 14th, and said, hey, we need to have something for small towns. We need to create something. So we went and created out of SportsWire, and that's where our SportsWire comes from. So we have 6 stations in Taylorville. We have 2 up there in Clinton, and then we also have out of SportsWire as well.
When you said family, do you mean family of media company or your family?
Our family. So my dad owns Hart Media Group.
Okay.
He came out. He decided, okay, he's been working with the Illinois Trucking Association. He's a lobbyist, been around Springfield, and he had an opportunity to get by these radio stations. And I came out of college, and people asked, hey, what do you want to do? And I told him, I said, I can't stand radio. I'm not a big radio guy. I listen to it. But he's like, hey, what about these small towns? And we've been kind of working together to say, hey, we want to start something that brings the vision of sports. It brings the video aspect these small towns don't have, and that's why we started out of SportsWire.
Okay. So I was trying to figure out how this all works. So your dad bought the company. You then went out and started SportsWire.
Correct.
And then how many podcasts do y'all have under this umbrella?
We have several. We have a couple we do for...
Your mom started one too, right?
My mom started one. We have the Hall of Fame podcast for Taylorville right now. We do a lot of virtual videos for Shelby Fiber, for several different companies. So we kind of have a little bit of mix of everything, I'll have to say.
Okay.
I couldn't give you really a number on top of my head, but
wow.
We kind of have a small little setup kind of just like this in Taylorville that we use.
Because it's just kind of like ideas can just kind of flow from a podcast. You're like, hey, let's start this and see if it takes, right?
Exactly. And that's why I tell everyone, without SportsWire, I was, okay, I'm going to try this out and see if it sticks. And it stuck. It stuck for sure.
I love that, dude. Okay, so you're in radio, you're in podcast. Here's kind of my question. What is something that radio can never do that podcast can do, and what's something podcast can do that radio can never do?
Well, radio is all, you have to go through FDA rules. So everything has to go through the FCC, who controls all the radio stuff. So there's certain, you can't put cuss words on radio. You can't, say certain things. There's those segments of every ad has to be 30 seconds. There's a certain amount of time that you can speak until you go to a commercial break.
Yeah.
Podcast is just free flowing. You get to edit it. You get to make it your own. It's more that creative side to it. And you see it.
Yeah, you can say some wild stuff if you want.
Stuff. Yeah. Exactly. And that's why, you see today radio and podcasts. A podcast you see as those reels of people saying these wild things, these wild takes. But on radio, you have to be careful of what you're saying because it's FCC regulated, because they're watching, because you could lose your FCC license, then you can't do anything with the radio. So it's kind of that, radio is kind of that controlled, and then once again, podcast, it's new, it's a brand new concept, it's exciting, and no one controls it because it's all of your creative side to it. That's why podcasts, you can just let it be a little bit.
Okay. So I'm hearing your story. I hear the passion for one, dude. I think doing this for 4 months now, 5 months, I think I can tell a little bit about people with the passion that they have. And you are carrying some wild passion. Some of it is, how old are you?
23.
23?
Only 23, yep.
Oh my goodness. Okay. 20 years you're elder. But I think about it and I'm like, how does that work working in a family business, dude? I didn't have a good family business. So I didn't have a good family. So what does that look like for you?
Yeah, so I guess a lot of people, they say they don't have, good family connections, they don't work well. Me and my dad, because I was a club soccer player, I grew up, we grew up running around the nation. I went to St. Louis, I played club soccer down there. 3 times a week, me and him would drive down there, drive back. We go to Nashville, we go to Orlando for soccer. We go across the nation, and me and him he's very type A, and I'm more that type B, to where we kind of work really well together, where we just have always ran ideas off of each other. And that's kind of how SportsWire started. It's how Hart Media has grown. It's what we've played around with podcasts, played around with the video, just because me and him have been, for even years before Hart Media started, we've been running the idea of, hey, we want to start this, we want to run with this, and we just always play ideas off each other. So me and my dad have a fantastic connection. I mean, I've always looked up to him. He's always been my role model. But once again, he trusts me, I trust him, and we have such a good system where it just works really well in that sense of, I guess, aspect, and that sense of, hey, we're a team effort. This is, I'm the only person who is technically employed by Hart Media that has my last name on it. So, of course, I'm going to make sure
changes a little bit.
Of course, I'm going to make sure that everything is to the best of my ability. I'm going to give my best effort. It's important for me because it's our family business. It's a team effort, and we put in as much as we're getting out of it, and that's what we are starting to see here. Definitely only a year in.
Any tense moments where you're like, woof, that was a tense season?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Sports, it's a crazy season. I thought everyone said spring sports would be the most slow season. It was the most intense because you got track going on. You got baseball, softball, soccer. I mean, I tell everyone right now I'm trying to relax a little bit because I was going 6 days a week, working 16 hours. So it was kind of tense, and me building my team of what I have now, it's been a little bit of try and fail. There's some people, I'm going to give 100% because it's, my name's on it. I work hard for it. It's my passion for it. So trying to find that passion of others is always tricky, but I'm very good at sitting down there, explaining to people and getting through those situations. And there's going to be many more to come, and we're just going to keep adjusting and going from it. So
you're a manager. You're doing some big boy stuff at 23, which is amazing. I love hearing that. Who flourishes underneath you?
So I have several. My full-time.
Not the names. What kind of personality flourishes underneath you?
What kind of personality?
Yeah.
Someone who's passionate. Number one. I want someone who cares about their work. I can't have someone working for me that doesn't want to put in what they're going to get out of it. And someone who's willing to adjust, to understand that there's going to be mistakes made, and that are going to just really, what's the word? Put in the 100% effort and know that this is important to them and really have the passion that I have. Because some people don't have the passion when working in this world because they're like, okay, I'm here, I'm going to be here until a certain amount. I'm going to try my okayness. I want my employees to try their best, give 100%, and that's what I found out with several. I have to hire here soon in June, so there's certain things I look for in a person. I want to look for someone also, in a media world, I got someone who's personable. I can't have someone who's quiet and sitting back and not do anything.
Especially since what I admire is you go out into the sports fields and actually create the moment. You don't invite somebody here in a studio. You do some of that, but a lot of it is out in the field content creation.
Exactly.
That's a whole different beast, man.
It is. And when we go back to people, I'm hiring people under me.
Yeah.
I have someone who goes up and introduces themselves. This is who I am. Can we do an interview? Can I talk to you? Because it takes a lot, especially today's with, a lot of people on phones hiding away.
Yeah.
They're scared to go ask the question.
Yeah.
And I need someone who is, mature enough, is old enough, who is confident in themselves to go up there and ask the question. I think confidence is key. You got to be confident with what you're doing, and you got to believe in what you're doing.
I'll tell you, I want to take this out on the, we have something called Levitt Amp. Have you heard of Levitt Amp before?
Yes, I think so.
It's a concert, about 2,000 people. We're actually the green room for the bands here, and it's out there on the Y Block, which is right there. And I was like, man, I would love to just start a segment called, Let's Talk About It.
Yep.
I am telling you, that fear has it has paralyzed me, because this I can do. That's something I've done with my profession for 20 years now. Going out in the wild, it's not so much the conversation, it's the awkward nah, I don't want to be part of that. You know, I don't know.
It's intimidating. It's intimidating. And, you know, and it took me a little bit because I've always been a person I'll tell everyone, when I was in college, I always was the one person with my hand up. I was the one person talking to people. I want to know who everyone is.
Yeah.
But for other people, it's kind of hard to do that because it comes natural to me.
Yeah.
But once you're in front of a new crowd, a new team, a school that's never seen you, it was intimidating. You know, now that I have my footing, now that people know who I am, it's a little less in that way because people know who I am. But once again, especially this fall starting up, I'm just a guy with a camera showing up, asking for an interview. You know, it's intimidating at that point.
Yeah.
It's intimidating a lot of my employees to say, we're brand new, we're just going to go up and ask a random person some questions and then go from there. And then once again, you have to know your questions. You have to know what you're saying. You have to know what you're talking about, and you have to listen to. I tell everyone you have to sit down and listen to what they're saying.
It helps that that you played college athletics too, because I think athletics is just this whole different world, and you got to be able to speak some of that transferable, like whether it's football, soccer, baseball. There's just something about understanding what it takes to grind in the off season, what it takes to have that camaraderie with your teammates. And so if you can kind of know that world, it probably helps you out there.
It definitely. And once again, we go back to everything's a team effort. My team, Hart Media is a team. I grew up in teams. I've played 11-11 soccer. It doesn't matter about one person. I can do as much as I can, but if my team's not producing, we're not going to get the results. And that's why I've always been, it's about everyone on the team has to work together. And if your team's not that strong, you're not going to get anywhere. So that's why I always make sure to work that I have the strongest people around me, my strongest team around me. That's why I'm kind of picky when especially I'm hiring people to work for us, because I want to have the best team out there possible.
So do you hope that this can scale beyond the Central Illinois? Like, is your niche saying we want to go to what's the verbiage? Overlooked communities.
Yep.
For the whole state of Illinois? Do you want to go beyond that?
There is a lot of talk right now.
Yeah.
My main goal is, number one, is start with Illinois. It's where I grew up. It's home. It's our place. But eventually, yes, I want to be 10, 15 years down the road. I want to take this to Missouri. I want to take it to Indiana. I think this is a product that can be taken anywhere in this country and used. And I think it's a missing part that people don't realize, that these small towns, you know, a guy might come out there for a playoff game.
Yeah.
But that's it. They'll come out for a state championship.
Yeah.
But no one's coming out for your regular season games. And it's something that I've already found with a lot of these communities south, around the Decatur, around the Springfield area, south of town, north of there, that it's kind of that missing niche, I say, that I really want to help and support these small towns, because, you know, especially in Illinois, small town athletics, that's all they have.
Yeah.
That's their Friday nights. It's their Saturday nights. It's their night times.
As you're even talking, I remember when I played football in high school, and like, I didn't start. I went to what would be called a 6A team now, and like 2 went pro, 1 became a WWE superstar, and the other died from cancer that year. But I remember us talking to them, like waiting for the clips to come out at 10 p.m. and just like the buzz of like, did somebody make the video? Did somebody get that interview? Like, you really are hitting on something, because there's a lot, like, it's not just them, it's their families, it's the whole community.
No, and
that's really good, man.
Yeah, and that's why it's everyone. And people ask me, they're like, if I miss a clip, people let me know.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, do you have this clip? Hey, do you have it? And I'm not gonna post everything. I'm not gonna.
Did you get my 5-yard run?
Exactly. I'm not gonna put your whatever. Like, I always put out, but you know, that's why I said I try to get my clips out as fast as I can, because people want them, and I want to be the first person to get them out.
So kind of switching gears a little bit, what's it like? You clearly have the personality. I mean, does your dad have that same personality? He's a lobbyist. He's got
obviously, he can talk and stuff. He's a little more,
polished.
And,
like, not in a negative thing, but like probably structured almost.
Yes, he's not as outgoing as me. Let's just say that.
Okay, so what's it like working with ad sales, and what's it like working with teams where you're like, hey, we need to hit these metrics so we can get this advertiser? It's a lot different than just coming on a camera and being like, hey, let's talk. Like, how does that change you?
It's definitely, I think for me, as you said, it's more nerve-wracking to go out and ask them in the field. For me, it's a sales part. Going in, I'm such a nice guy, going out there and saying, hey, we need support, we need help with this, we'd love you to advertise. That's more intimidating to me, because it's like, okay, I'm going out there and asking these people to support us, to help sponsor us. Like, they're trusting me with it.
Yeah.
So, it's a little more nerve-wracking, but once again, what I've found success is these small towns have, a lot of these businesses that are around them. They're going to support their athletics no matter what.
They really are.
And now that if their small town and their business is on their athletics, on their videos, on any of their stuff, they think it's the most amazing thing ever, and it's fantastic, because then I put together the small town people, the communities, and the businesses all together, and it's kind of their own platform in a way. And I mean, one of my examples is Mount Pulaski. Their AD reached out to me.
Say that one more time.
Mount Pulaski.
Oh, their athletic director.
Yeah, their AD, athletic director. So he reached out to me January. He goes, hey, how do we get Out of Sportswire to come here? I was like, listen, you need to have a certain amount of sponsors. We need to have, work together on teaming up. So me and Joe Washko, who's a fantastic guy at Mount Pulaski, we worked together we had 5 sponsors put together. Then we followed them all through winter. They had their state run. Then we followed them in the spring. Now they're a full-time in Out of Sportswire, just because I worked with their AD saying, hey, we want to bring this to our small town. And people love it up there. They think it's the most fantastic thing. And I found a new love for Mount Pulaski. I mean, as much as it's cool to bring it to them, I'm finding new love for these new communities that I've never been around, really. I've never really driven through Mount Pulaski until this past year, and I found this fantastic community up there, and now we have several, I think 5 to 10 sponsors up there already.
Okay, going on that, what's a overlook, because your brand is going to overlook communities. What's outside of Mount Pulaski? What's like an overlooked community where you're like, this surprised me, or this nobody would know this athlete came out of there, or like, what's that story?
Shelbyville, Illinois. No one's ever gone down. No one goes down to Shelbyville. It's too far from Decatur. It's too far from Springfield. There's nothing south of there. And there's several athletes. Will Noren, who's a national track athlete, he's come out of there. He's gone to nationals. He's been in that area. No one ever, did any video for him. No one did an interview for his signings. No one would have known all of this stuff unless we are down there. We're, getting those clips. Mount Pulaski, again, like their state run. There would have been okay coverage, but we made it known that this is a cool run. This is exciting for the town. Clinton, Illinois is a good example. No one's ever done any media in Clinton. It's too far from Decatur. It's too south of Bloomington. It's kind of stuck in that middle, but we went there. Their girls' basketball team, I think, lost only four games all season. They were fantastic. Their track athletes were fantastic. At state, we had to cover them. So there's a lot of these different stories of different, communities that their kids would have never been shown or been asked anything or been shown by these major media groups, because they're more focused on around their town, which 100% you can do that around Springfield, around Decatur. But there's so many schools, and that's why we're going to expanding this fall. There's still so many schools that their stories are being missed. And, we want to try and connect people, show the stories of these athletes. And I believe that in every small town, there's so many different athletes, so many different stories. And we've already found that in year 1. And we're just going to hopefully just keep going on to year 2 and do the exact same thing.
I sit here and I'm like, I'm going to hold on to this interview, because I can just see the greatness like oozing off of you. Like, the more I researched you, I was like, oh my goodness, like there's something, like this is hitting some kind of market. And then clearly you have charisma, and then like sitting with you, I'm like, this is exciting. In 10 years, I can't wait to see what happens with y'all's company. I can't wait to see what happens with you.
Well, I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
Remember me when you're big time, bro.
You know I will. You know I will.
I'm just some guy on the 3rd floor of a church talking to people. But so what's the worst entrepreneurial advice somebody's given you this past year?
Ooh, that's a good question. Worst? I always look at I'm a very positive person, so I look at all the positives. worst advice entrepreneur.
How's that working out for you, being a positive person?
It's I always try to take everything and try to find the good in it. You know, there's a lot of setbacks we've had this year. There's a lot of issues we've had.
What's a setback y'all have had that you've had to work through?
One thing is, you know, we want to make sure and solidify that we are a legit media company. You know, one thing that always bothered me is I'm very young. I'm 23 years old. People ask, are you a high schooler? Are you fresh out of, are you working college?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm legit media company. I'm legit working here. I have a whole team. And it's hard for me to take in. People still think that I'm just a high schooler messing around with the camera.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have that respect. So I try to just be positive and be sweet about it and care. And I think that setback's been tough for me on a personal note of, hey, I'm really young. I'm going up against people who are twice my age, 3 times my age. You know, that's my competition, being only 23 years old. So that's something that personally I've had to work through. But once again, I put in what I've got out of it. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep reiterating that the Iowa Sports Wire is legit. We're a legit company. And, you know, once now the sponsors are coming in, they've been coming in, people know that we are, after year 1, yes, we are legit. But that was definitely something in the beginning of people like, I think this is just a dude just going out there and making a page and doing whatever. And that was tough for me to take, for sure.
Had y'all already been a business at that point where you had sponsorships and things where you were feeling that? So you were feeling slighted because you were like, hey, I already created it.
So radio, yes. I mean, radio, because we got the radio station, it's worked out in that aspect. But Iowa Sports Wire, I mean, I just took camera out to a purple and gold game in Taylorville. Yeah. And just went from there. And people are wondering who I am, where I came from, you know, all this stuff. And people still today are like, you know, where was I the other day? And someone's like, oh, so you're legit, right? I'm like, yeah. I go, oh, someone said you were just a high school student. I was like, and that bothers me, and that bothers me a bit.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, no, I am not a high school student. I work my butt off. I work 6 days a week. I make sure everything. But, you know, as year 2 comes on, people know who I am. I'm going to see that less. And I take everything. I don't really get too upset, really. I said, okay, everything that goes, you know, negatively or, you know, doesn't work out, that's a learning curve. And I've told it to my team because sometimes clips will get messed up or spelling will get messed up or we put the wrong thing, the wrong name. I said, this is a learning curve. I said, you got to double check. And my team appreciates that because I'm very relaxed about it. You know, we're going to make mistakes. We're all human beings. So if we make mistakes, it's how we adjust. It's how we learn from them. And going in year 2, now that we've seen everything, we've seen all the sports, we've been there and done that, we can use that experience to just help boost us in going into year 2.
Do you want to do anything besides sports? Like, is there another niche where you're like, that needs to be covered as well? Or is that insider information? I
mean, if I'll be honest, I'm going to stick to sports for now.
Yeah.
But there is other things.
There are other markets.
There are markets that aren't covered. I mean, and one thing I always tell people is that I cover the band. I want to make sure the band is shown. I want to make sure the cheerleaders are shown. I said there's a lot more to the game than just what's going on the field. But then
that band community runs strong.
Extreme.
And it's probably just as big, if not bigger, than the football community.
It is. And a lot of people, you know, plays, auditorium plays. I mean, there's a lot, you know, anytime the arts. There's a lot of stuff in those areas that things are happening where we can expand and go from that. Right now, sports are working for us. I want to expand on sports. I know sports. I grew up around it.
Yeah.
I love sports. It's my passion. But as you said, I'm going to cover the band. I'm going to cover the Palms. I'm going to cover the cheerleading. I'm going to get everything I can.
Just makes sense. Since if you're already doing the sports and that's your bread and butter, focus on that, but then try to delve out to those others because they want to join in with you.
Exactly.
Dude, that's amazing. Okay, what else do you want people to know about your story, about SportsWire? What is it that you'd say, I hope people would know this?
Number one, I want people to really know that we're here for them. We're here supporting them. We want to be there for those communities. We want to bring the highlights to them. I tell everyone, I said, we're different because we're not just a media guy. I'm not going out there with a camera, taking a video and leaving. I'm not there for half the game. I'm there to interact with the coaches, the fans, the ADs, the cheerleaders, everyone around the game. Because I want to know who you are as much as you want to know who I am. I want to make those personal connections. And I think that's what I found success on is I'm asking questions. I'm learning about these new towns, these new communities. And because I care just as much as, you know, anyone who lives there. I want to know who they are because it helps me get a feeling for the town, get a feeling for them, and make those connections. And I have so many new, friends, peers, people that I've met in the last year just from starting a simple conversation of, who I am. And I'm a people person. I love to sit down and know people's stories. I love them to support me, and I will do everything I can to support any of those towns, and especially with our 6 new towns coming this fall. So
6 new towns?
6 new, yep.
Wow. How many towns do you have now?
Right now we have 9. We cover 9 sports towns, and then we're adding 6 this fall. So starting to work on that. It's super exciting.
Wow. Man, I'm so thankful and just like excited for the future for you. I genuinely feel the passion, and I genuinely see the vision, and it'll be interesting if you are going to be like the Barstool Media where you cover the drama inside the office, because I could see you guys almost doing that. As you were talking about relationships, they always say the reason they grew up big was because they were the Kardashians of the sports world, and I kind of almost hear echoes of that.
There's a lot of ideas, a lot of things thrown around, and
you're in the fun part of the business.
Once again, I'm only in year 1, so we got a lot to work with. So.
And it's great that your dad's there to help you along
100%.
The way too.
He's my biggest support, always has been, and I always give props to my dad. He believed in me. He trusted me to go out and do this, and it's a team effort. And without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. And and we're a team. We're a team. And we're always going to be a team, and it's a family business now. It's family, and I always put family first. I put Christ first. Yeah. They're my 2 most important things, no matter what. And I've been blessed by the Lord to get me here, and I've been blessed by my family to always support me.
You're everything I hope I have with my relationship with my boys. So this has been a pleasure.
Thank you.